Okay, welcome to Protex, day 33. Today I will be continuing what I was working on yesterday, which is the visual scripting system integration with generating configurations to be consumed by our packager. So basically, I now have integration with being able to create these configurations via configuring what I'm calling operation boxes. So like we define what a capture is. If we get a capture here, so starting is the capture. You can specify starting. You can specify a script or an operation to hand. You can specify a script name to hand the capture to, and that is ultimately what will get spat out when the classifier runs. Specify a script here. If I press the run button and take a look over here, it should have generated an array, so just the JSON array. So it looks like we first run the starting pattern, and then we run a py module of a script, which is exactly what we were expecting. I'll clear this message. I would like to keep this around, like this size. I'm gonna turn the music down just a tad. Right, so currently our packager is expecting a legacy JSON config, which was worked on earlier when there was text boxes down here instead of components, visual components. So what we need to do is we need to get that actually passing. Well, there shouldn't be too much work to do, but I have modified some of the code, so it should be pretty plug and play for communicating with our main process thread, wherever that would be. We want protex .ts, and there should be a write config, which we need to pass and call. Wherever our write config call is, I think it's just write config. So right here, so we don't get a response, which is why we're well, we should be console logging extractor out. Oh, we run the extractor. Gotcha. It's been a minute since I've taken a look at this, so on write config, we take a config string, and write config is just parsing the JSON, stringifying the config, and I don't think we actually write anything to console, do we? We just say done writing whatever the configuration was, and I guess we can peek at the configuration name under datapath config.conf name, which I guess I write over in gen JSON config, and I think I just gave it where do I assign the conf name? I don't think I actually tack that on there. Oh no, it's passed to run extractor. But what about write config? Yeah, this is expecting conf name to exist on the config string. Okay, well, I guess that's one thing I'll have to fix, and I don't want to do it this way, for the record. So now that we have our operations, so our operations is actually the config that we're serializing. And instead of categories, we're pushing. So let's get this terminology straight. We need to replace categories with operations, which is the convention moving forward. So we want to open the include TypeScript file. I need to get those JS files building in a different directory and have the application actually run out of there rather than having those source files live in my code folder. Where is categories? How many other mentions of categories do they have? It's those. So we have ops. So this will be operations. And operations is basically we have operations defined. So this has the name of the definition, but I think I'm going to put a pause on assigning names because we're just gonna go with the extractor name for outputs, and then it'll give you an array that's associated with the extractor for extractor output, for the actual extractor process output, not the extractor category. Like the extractor handles multiple extractors, if that makes sense. Operations. So operations is an operations array of operations, basically. This should be just like this. So we have an op array of arrays. There's an operations. And then as for, I think I screwed up cat box now. I don't know how to get my cursor over there. There we go. So I guess what breaks? Let's see here. So for starters, let's close that one. How do you move the panel? Move right. Move panel. Panel. Basic change active panel. Build and build panel. Change active panel. Is there a way to move panels? Can I move it the default way? I don't think so. Let me, I guess, v-split over here. We'll open nothing for now. So it's actually the first thing we exported. And so I just need to get this working, not actually refactor cat def out of existence. What else was broken? Go to line 1218. Categories. Yeah, so I need to make a fake op array. I guess I can just pass it an array of arrays and oops. And this just becomes operations. Yeah, you can be the header again. So that becomes operations. Again, it's just being initialized to an empty array. And what else? It should exist on extrudev, does it not? Oh wait, that's a... Oh, I didn't write the file. 1084. Is there a way to toggle line number? There we go. s.extractors.categories. So this is just operations now. And what was this code doing? This was saying new extractors. Otherwise, we're switching extractors. And then this is saying make new cat fields for... And I think this was all for the purpose of json config. And if I look at Protex state, we have extractors, which contains operations, rather than categories. But these new cat fields were serving to create those inputs, those text inputs, rather than the visual system, but has since then been ported to the visual system, which I think also uses this API, the new cat fields API, which there's this function. Yeah, so this is still making all the things. Yeah, that's fun. That needs to get refactored. Anyways, new cat fields. Again, this is just passing conditions. So we'll refactor this to, instead of take a condition string, wait, it can retain the condition. We actually don't need to pass a condition string. And again, I already forgot what we were complaining about on 1084. There it was, right here. We don't have categories, so for each category, so for each operation, for each operations, and this becomes, again, to do refactor, factor cats to op. Instances of cat to op. Where is go to? I need to make this a hotkey because I use it so much. This is 1084. Yep, so we were previously here, 1086. New cat fields, s.script names, cat.name, cat.conditions. So operations no longer contain those fields. So what is an op? Op is a union of some type. So I think I'm just gonna pass the entire so really just a new op box, right? I think I'll just bite the bullet now and rename it. It's not that big of a cost. So this is for each operation. Of those operations, we're making new op fields. I'm going to open this file over here as well. The sun is blaring on my monitor, so that's great. And I think because that is the case, I'm going to do that for now so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm not going blind. I'll change it back later. Once the sun passes, what time is it right now? It always hits me at the same time. It's about 9. New cat fields needs to get refactored to be op fields creation. So this is like creating all the HTML nonsense. I need to fix this function. So what do we want to call this? I don't know. New op box, new op fields, new op components. Like, actually all this is doing is just making an operation box, right? Pattern select. What is it doing with pattern select? Oh, that's just the pattern select option of the op box. Offset slider, select type select, yep. Okay, yeah, that's actually just making a new op box. So we'll just say make op box. So replace our query is new cat fields, and we're replacing new cat fields with make op box. Yes, yes, yes. And then instances of make op box now need to get past the actual operation. An operation is presumably where did it make op box? Where are you? Wait, did I not rename the function itself? That's fun. So make op box now takes none of this nonsense. It takes an operation box, an op, and it requires I believe that is it. This should be an op array. That's what I was spacing. Ops. So make op box takes op, well, gets past operations as this is like operation queues. Like, cause it's multiple, it's an array of arrays, so whatever, I'll figure it out. For now, we can just settle with operations and remember that it's plural ops. You just need to be ops again. Add cat. Who's calling add cat? Anyone? This is import JSON config, which we will also need to modify once we get things working. No one is calling add cat. What is add cat actually doing? It's just making an op box from a category. So it's just constructing this. I will put a pause on this. This to do is now gonzo. You are also calling add cat. Anyone else calling add cat? Add empty cat. Oh, people are probably calling that. Add empty. Cat def. So let's start at 621. Add extractor. Yeah, this takes ops. Well, if it has... Why are we also passing... I forget why I was passing cats to this. I'm gonna trust I had a good reason and just flat out replace this with ops. Oh, yes, I see. We were getting past the original array to append to, and all the components needed to construct a new extractor. Should just name this ops and just call it a day. Ops.slice, add 0, I guess. And this should be... This is actually just this, right? This is the whole shebang, I think. This is opses. This is an operation queue. I should make this distinction soon because it's already getting confusing. Uh, 722. Yep, that is some brokerage. We're also pushing patterns, so that's something that I can fix since operations have patterns. This is something that I need to decide on how to do because I can discover all the patterns by traversing the operations queue. So in the end, that's just data that I don't need to store. I'm going to plan to try to port the packager to not consume patterns as a as a whole. So like we'll continue storing patterns in the JSON object, get packager working, and then I can come back to here and remove patterns, if that makes sense. So just get it working now without too much more modification, and then I can clean the stuff up that I'm not using. But for now, it's fine. So 793 categories. That would be so much nicer. Should just do a query replace. I don't need to push anything because we've built everything out. We're just slicing this at this point. We're stringifying the conditions is? Yeah, I guess that's fine, but not really. Am I missing a... I think I'm missing a bracket art. Is there a way to jump to the scope? Oh, that is a to-do. That is kind of cool. How do I close it though? I guess like that. I want to stringify what exactly? I think I want to stringify just extractors, right? Oh. I think the previous code was stringifying extractors and then adding config name to this object. So we're stringifying basically. I think I also had patterns being stringified as well. I'll plan on just stringifying extractors with name. That seems simple enough for now. Extractors, extractors. Just like that. And then we have the conf name. It's just conf name. What was the just Protex, vanilla Protex expecting? This was expecting write scripts. It's just conf name. Yeah. So conf name takes conf name. Uh, 792. This is okay. I'd like to jump to the surrounding scope. For now, I'll just press the up button a few times. That looks fine. This is just some verification code that I would like to keep around, but let's let me do that for now. Is that something that I need to do? Last odd box index? Don't need to keep that around. Box index. No. I do need odd boxes though. I guess that can stick around. So now where does... should map just like that. Oh, this if statement is if extractor name equals current extractor, use DOM elements. Otherwise, what was it doing? I have no idea. Oh, I know exactly what it was doing. We're only mapping extractors. Why is tab not indenting 4? Should be on the same line. I'll fix that later. Yeah, so only generate a config. Only modify the extractor definition that's needs to be modified, basically. That's what this is saying. Yeah, so we get all the patterns, just like this, and then do an basically build up an operations queue via the depth first traversal. Or it's not really a depth first traversal because we're just finding the nub with no whatever, we're finding a leaf node. So there might be ways to optimize this a bit, but I'll do some profiling a bit later. So yeah, we should be stringifying extractors and conf name, that looks good. Now if we go to lines 974, I think is what it was mad. Right. What is this doing? This is saying extractor selection on change. We are initializing things. Extractor to save. Guess we're clearing stuff, that's fine. And it's trying to push a new but a category is, yeah, I can comment this out for now. One more, 1033. Yep, this is operations. And we're compiling, which is great. Let's see, this breaks. We can no longer make op boxes, which is fun. I guess on auxclick we must have commented out should only be one. Did I comment out this add empty cat? I did. Right, so you just need to be s.extractors. This gives extractor select dot selected index dot dot operations. I think I spelled operations correctly. And fakey McFake made box and add empty cat, and this is no longer add empty cat, it's make op box. And this takes oh, this was empty cat. Where was empty? Should just be commented out somewhere up here. Yeah, it was just passing nothing but wait, were these both add? Both of these were add empty cat. So yeah, let me just refactor this real quick. This is add empty. Add empty operation box. So add empty box takes script names, the extractor definitions, and then it also takes just an uninitialized operation. So we can do it like this actually, where we say, here is my let's use let in this case. Here's my operation. Equals, and we are just defining or declaring new operation array actually, or just a new operation actually. That's what this should be. Just like that, and we have our operation. We're passing it to add cat. And this is really just add empty box, add box, add op box, just add operation. This is add op box because it's also calling make op box. So this was expecting name and conditions, but now it just takes an operations array. Or just an operation. Because it's just one. Op. And we're saying dot operations. And which array does it get pushed to? Actually, I have no idea. Right now we're just pushing it. If we're adding an empty op box, I guess it doesn't know where to exist, and it moves. So right now, I think I'm just going to call make op box for these things. And we'll do it just like this. Because we actually don't need to record we don't need to record operations that are virtualized, right? Because the json config operates purely on what is currently viewable on as elements inside the DOM. But if we need to add an operation So like the extractor definitions will work out where that actually needs to happen. Like as we're like, the use case for that would be importing the configuration. We need to save those virtually, and then when it comes time to switch to the operations, then when it comes time to switch extractors, we need to modify what the user is seeing in this area down here in the op box area. So for now, where we're calling add_empty_cat, this is now just not being called, and I'll just kind of, for posterity's sake, I'll just comment this out and instead call this is confusing one. This should just be one indent. I'm gonna fix this right now. I don't know what the tab width. Home? No. Next. Space. For coder config files, maybe there's an example of someone having I'm looking for the number 4. Indent width. Indent with tabs is, I guess, false. Set indents with indent width. How do I set indent width? Let me do this. Tab spacing width is 4. And the actual use tabs should be false, I think is what. Indent with tabs. And then reload. Alright, well, I know how to reload things. Wait, unless it just auto-applies. No, it doesn't look like it sourced it. What? What is broken? Nothing's broken, so I'm gonna save. And I'm going to call exit. Sure. We're going to relaunch here. And we're gonna fix our theme. And then we're going to open source Protex app source Protex renderer.ts. And we're going to press the tab button, and it's not going to work. Indent width should be 4. Dent. Where is my indents? For coder indents 4. Alright, well, I guess I'm pressing space a bunch of times for the time being. And it might be because it doesn't understand, is it smart tabs? Auto indent line at cursor. No, I don't want to do that. It might be toggling just smart tabs. Is there a way to highlight line at cursor? Yeah, that's better. What setting was that? Toggle highlight. Enclosing scopes, that seems good. Do that. So that should be... That's also good. Is that not showing enclosing scopes? I don't think that's working, is it? It's also not showing matching parentheses. Is there a way to for coder TypeScript file? For coder TypeScript syntax. Highlighting. I need to Google foo for coder. Oh, so I need to do this in my customization later, which makes sense. Where's the highlighting though? Gotcha, so I need to work with my custom layer in order to get things highlighting, so I assume scopes. Toggle drop shadow? Oh god. What else can I toggle? Show scroll bars. Fold toggle cursor. Oh god. Hide that. The file bar. Get the mouse out of here. But yeah, it would be nice to show scopes, I think. Oh well. Yeah, so I guess that's something that I'm doing later today, probably. Would be getting this TypeScript file actually highlighting things. And I think the sun is off my monitor. I can actually kind of peruse a color scheme that actually won't blind me. This looks good. So I was building make opbox is now being called on auxiliary click, or at least it should. It is not being called. See, I don't know if these are the correct amount of spaces or not. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Make op box requires same as before. Script names, and it requires the operations. And right now, they're both empty. Why did I make this an array? This is just a singular operation. Singular. And I'm not sure that it's How do you make a default operation? I guess I won't. I'll just pass this as can you call a function as just like an initializer? Can I do this? It's like just an empty. That's a stupid thing. We'll say make empty outbox. So same as before, where we were making the empty cat. This is just add empty. Make empty outbox. So make empty outbox wants, again, script names. And that is actually it. I guess I also, what did I also pass it? I gave it a fake extractor. Sure. Again, where does this get pushed? I don't know. In terms of the actual operations, how are we going to track the operations queue and where new operations get pushed on? Well, they're actually their own. Oh, they're actually their own queue initially, at least. So when we push, they become their own thing, and then when we modify, I really don't want to be screwing with make empty outbox. Really shouldn't, again, like I was saying before, it really shouldn't care about the current state. Why is it trying to manage the current state of all the HTML stuff? Like, it shouldn't. Just let the DOM do its work, and then when we need to add an outbox, we have all the information there already. Like, it's virtualized. So just do it that way rather than trying to make some hacky workaround. So really what I want is make outbox. Make outbox shouldn't even take whatever the function is. This shouldn't even take an operation. This should just take whatever it needs to generate the stuff and call it a day. But it does actually. It does want an operations list, right? Getting back to what I was saying previously, which is I'm reminding myself why I actually had so we don't want to make empty outbox, but we do want make outbox to retain the ops. So operations that are going to be added. And really, this is all of the operations, the operation paths that are going to be added. And so this then becomes if this is just making one box, right? If this is just making one box, it takes a singular op. But I need some way to, I guess the naming of this function is just wrong then, right? But it's not, because it's only making one thing. So really this is make a new outbox, but what I want is a way to connect these outboxes, and I don't need to deal with this right now actually, which is good. So I don't know. Let's treat it like this for now. We'll take an operation, and I will push this problem down the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna say op. And we're gonna do it like this. Actually build from existing obstruct. So again, make outbox. This is just taking we want to submit them. We want to submit them in groups. So we're probably needing to write another procedure that actually wraps makeOpBox, or change makeOpBox so that it can either operate on an array of operations, or we just need to separate out the logic from creating opboxes versus appending to the extractor operations list. So back up to makeOpBox. This just takes a new operation. I'm just gonna give it. I'm going to define an empty operation, which consts. We'll call it banana for now, banana op, and put it to do to fix me. So just define an op. Missing an A. Missing an A and an A. Banana. So kind of same story here. I guess we don't even need to pass it the fake extractor anymore either. Again, for posterity, I'm just going to comment that out. That was really rough, I'm not gonna lie. Pressing spacebar 16 times. And for science, I'm going to do that and type in the number 16 followed by a space. Okay, so the Vim layer doesn't record, doesn't actually do Vim operations. Like if I type in 16, then A, doesn't actually do that. Okay, add, basically I'm just copying this, actually. Please. I need to fix this so bad. I would like my tabs to work. Alright, so we should be able to create all boxes. After building. 239. Oh, there's just a random comment hanging out. That's great. Something 112, 1112. Uh, 1228. That did not toggle relative line numbers. There we go. So that's just broken. Again, let's build one more time. Where are these line numbers broken? These line numbers are broken. They're not broken, but they just wrap it 1,000 lines. Okay. Maybe toggling relative line numbers fixes it. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna deal with it. 11 something. 12:28. There's a comma where there shouldn't be a comma. Okay. Unterminated regular expression literal. Excuse me? Right. You are da 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 da. This is recreating all of our operations. This is this needs to be ops to do. I'm gonna do a really hacky thing, fix me. And it should be obvious once we implement imports and switching. Why is that 13? That probably shouldn't be 13. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. It's not define, it's declare. I agree, compiler. That was dumb. Declare. Where did I say declare? Hey, it's an op box. Starting. I need to define an extractor. Potato. Starting. Go down to capture. I grab starting. I grab a script. I find a script. I hit the run button. And we tried writing webs.conf .json. So let's go investigate what that actually looks like. Source, Protex, data, webs.conf.json. Toggle, I don't want to toggle wrap yet. Can I copy this to my clipboard? That would be, I need to, trying to spell it wrong again to find it. Declare. Did I just re-break it? No, we're good. But I do want to try to copy line to clipboard. Can I do that? Copy. Close this window, close this window. JSON formatter. Make it nice and pretty. V0 delete Control V. That is wonderful. Okay, so it looks like we have a potato, and it has operations of starting and a py module of a script.py. One other thing that we could encode is the actual the capture type also needs to record an offset, and that's pretty trivial to do. So I think I will also record that, and then we're good to go for actually getting started on packager stuff. But I am going to use the bathroom really fast. So. Oh, hey, iterative ship. I don't know if you're still here, but basically this is a programmable text extractor. So, kind of imagine like a visual scripting system that can basically interact with a given document, and it will then attempt to run the operations that you've defined here on the text, and then it'll spit out a little JSON object. So that's how the program works. Right. I was adding actually the offset, which we were then recording. So offset is just capture offset slider, and it is an input. So when jamming JSON config, and when building up the operation queue from the leaf, and in the case where you are a capture, case 0, if you are a capture, we need to basically get the offset slider get the offset slider, and so we record offset input, so just offset slider dot value, and of course that's going to be a number. So we can just say offset is equal to that, and we get our I want to get I forget what my query is. Should be try get elements by class name. Where did my remember that we're building this inside of operations from leaf. So this, again, the correct is try get elements by class name. So parent container, which is the current op box. If I would have looked a few lines in front of me, I could have copied that instead of going on a goose hunt. We don't need to check if this is empty because it gets a default value of 0, which is accepted and is valid. So we expect an offset slider. And we also, that's it. Wait, current alt box and pattern select. Yeah. And then cast it, select element so it has the value property. And that should be good enough. So build up those two things, and then I need to modify our include app source include ts file. What does the generated include JSON file look like? I think it should just be empty, right? Because TypeScript just throws away types, I think. What does this look like? Isn't it just empty? It's just an empty file. Wonderful. Right, where is op capture? This now also records an offset. This is a number. So wherever I'm constructing an op capture, well, wherever I'm constructing an operation, I need to also record the number. The compiler will tell me 46. 46. Missing a double quote, which is probably causing lots of issues. That should not be uppercased. Nubmer. This is now SDF. So this will record an ASDF input, and it will record a script upon pressing the run button. We're gonna try to write to websconf.json, which should get refreshed, I think. Load. So let's open back up in this directory data. How do I refresh this? Kill this one. And then we'll reopen it. And it looks like the... Oh, weird. Why is that getting offset? Did I... No, that's correct. Okay, I was being dumb. But yeah, now ASDF has offset 0 being recorded as well, which is exactly what we wanted. And that looks like a good good config. How did I open that kill buffer? Control Shift K. Control K. whatever, kill the, just kill that one. Also, we need to kill the, JS buffer that I opened. Cool. I can close that window, pane, whatever you want to call it, try to build. It's going to give me this again, and now I can jump back into the packager, which is excellent. I've been looking forward to writing some more Zig. I'm a bit TypeScript out. So let me interactive open the packager. All right, so where is our main? So what was I saying? I was saying I was going to refactor packager to not rely on patterns being recorded. I would also like to go ahead and take a look at common.zig and see how we're actually laying out the artifact. Right, so our actual patterns. Yeah, the problem with recording patterns, not having patterns stored somewhere at a higher level, we have to first travel down into, and these are no longer categories. This will be a bit of a experience. We no longer have a category header, we just have operations. So I was nesting operations within categories, but I think what I want to do is I want to start just replacing categories with operations. Because at this point you just make a new extractor, I think was the reasoning there. Do I want to store a name for the category? I think the answer is no for now. And then if I need to, it's just like one less string I have to worry about. Basically we have to have n operations gets lifted to the extraction context headers. So this is no longer n categories. This is n operations. That's the number of operations we're needing to perform. The category header, we can ditch the category name and bytes. This can be unindented. 4, roughly. Should be in line with category header. Like I needed to bring this. That's on column 11. This is on column 12. Just like that. And then we have this can get brought back. I only indented 3. Might be the case actually. That's 5. I should probably fix the indentation here. Oh wait, it was just offset by 2. Or by 1 initially. Whatever. So we have operation header. So we just remove this. Followed by more extraction context headers. Where is, that's on column 8. Where are you? Column 8. Okay, so we have the operation type and we have its data, which is cool. Basically now we need to have, this is already in operations and database bytes. I need to remove a category header. So this is in operations now. And while I'm here, is there one thing that are there things that I can move? This is just extractor name, operation data, da 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 da. Can I store? Operation data is a fixed size, actually. So can I store the... I'm storing the type already. So why not also... Why not also store the... Oh, I guess the reasoning is that I can read struct from the data section of an operation header. Okay, that's fair enough. So other than that, nothing should be stored in the data segments of our headers. That shouldn't be an unknown, that isn't an unknown size. Because RDOP is a known size because it's a union, but it's there because it makes reading it actually easier, I think. I don't think it actually matters, but I'm gonna keep it there, and if I don't like it, then I'll change it. So currently we have ply module or capture are the types of operation types that we have, and then I will define actually what these are. So similar to our TypeScript, module. Let me actually open. I gotta reopen. This guy, and this guy defined op ply module and op capture. And all of these need to be packed struct because we're writing them to a file. So our packed struct has, this is the py module, just needs the py module index, I guess. Py module index. Because we have py modules stored. I guess what was cat header actually originally? Over in here. Cat header was recording main py module index. Yes. And I will just replace this with module index, and this is going to be a usize. So py module, we have another const op operation capture, also a pack struct, and as for its, why is that giving me, is this creating brackets for me? Creating a bracket whenever I press. Why is it creating multiple brackets? Weird. Op capture requires the actual... Previously, I was recording what exactly? I think for a capture, I had... Basically, I was recording the pattern indices, which it wanted to match. So basically, that would have been a start and end pattern ID. So where is... already op capture. I was already defining these things. And I'm prefixing all of these with arty, which is fine, I guess. So this is just recording pi module index, and I guess the reasoning for that is because the struct itself is named pi module, so we assume that index refers to a pi module index. Sure, so this already exists pretty much. Op pi module index, and then we have op capture, so this is the ID that we're capturing on. And since we're moving away from start and end pattern IDs, we just have the pattern ID. And this is, we don't really mention pattern in the capture, so we'll just prefix that with pattern and call that a day. And then this also specifies an offset. So this is also a usize. And that looks good to me, except I can delete that. And then as for my build script, I need to have a second, I need to have another build.sh in this folder as well. So where is, do this real quick. Protex, I need to go ahead and let's try to do this. Zig build is all I should need to say. And then over in for coder land, I need to run the find build search. Build that is not my build script. Change directory. If I jump over to Protex .ts, I get a purple screen. Wonderful. I can fix that. So I have multiple build scripts, which is the problem. And I want to call the appropriate... I guess I could just have my build script build everything too. Which might be the what I end up doing later, but for now this is fine. Oh, wait, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And then set the theme. Okay, close the build panel. Open packager. Close this panel. Build. Perfect. Protex.zig. Yeah. There's no definition header anymore because it's gone. But I am concerned with fixing... how do I navigate down to the build panel? The build panel just deleted itself. Build panel. Well, I don't see a... I guess I changed to build panel, but I don't know where it is. So I guess we're dealing with... How can I scroll up? Man, I really would like to scroll up in my build panel. If I close both of those, can I quit out of this? Can I change this to a build panel? Change to build panel. So here's my scratch, here's packager, close packager, build, and I get a purple screen. Oh, that seemed to fix it. And then opening something just breaks everything. Wonderful. As much as I want to use forcoder, I guess I'm building outside of this editor, which is a bit sad. Like this, and pop over, back open this over here, and here's my new build panel. All right, this is mad about Protex. There should be no... Oh, end categories. Yeah, that doesn't exist. Which I should have changed. Yes, so that is now in operations. What about packager though? Is packager just compiling? if I exclude protex.zig from the build process, we should be good. Let me open up a directory, just build.zig. So this is the shared library. Let me not build this. Don't build Protex tests. Just build packager. And this doesn't require, this requires the Protex library. So comments out everything but packager. And that should be a small enough output that I can start doing this. So line 23 is what all the fuss is about in common.zig, or line packager.zig. Relative line numbers are mostly working. Again, popping back up to line 23. This is referenced by line 23. Uh, 211 now. Right, instead of categories, we're not getting categories, we're getting operations. So let's start by replacing categories with operations. Just the first mention of operations. This comment needs to change. We write operation headers now. So the operation count is operations.array.items.length, and that is just the number of operation queues that we have. Right. So this this really reflects, if we go back to actually source common.zig, and operations is really just looking at a number of operation lists. So an operation lists, really. Operation queues, you could say. So I guess I'll use the terminology of an operation queue. It's really just an operation These are queues that need to be executed, and the queue reflecting the operations happen contiguously, linearly, whatever, one after the other one. So replace n operations with n operation queues. So your n operation queues. Basically, we then need to have a way to kind of store. This gets us the number of operation queues, and we don't need to store anything further because for basically now that we know the number of operation queues, we need to have the operation queue be prefixed with a header actually. So I do need to have something like that. Basically, we can check each list, and then we know that depending on the length of that list, that's how many operations we have. But in terms of reading this, how many things do you read? So does this become a queue header? I think so, right? Because this is essentially an operation queue header, and it has, right now we're encoding the type, which we need to store, which was the reason for the header in the first place. So what exactly do we need to have? Well, we need to have something that sits on top of each of these, right? We need an operation queue header, which stores, so we have an operation queue header, some sort of queue header that records, that tells the deserializer, hey, how many things am I responsible for reading? How many operations do I need to read? How many operation headers do I need to read? That should be that. Need one more for, oops. Just like that. So we have our operation queue header, and I actually messed up. I don't need these dots quite yet. So our queue header now takes an operations, and each queue header basically sits on top of an operation header, which says what type it is and allows us to essentially read in the structs according to the type that it is. So this needs to get indented. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can throw a usize here. And I guess we're capitalizing the first character / word. And then I need a bottom half. I need read the top half of this. And there will be a space between that. So that looks okay. We have our queue header, which gives us the number of operations. This is now the number of operation queues. And problem solved, I think. So now we need to define a queue header, which is, where's our operation header? So we have our op queue header. I should give data a prefix, or postfix, but suffix. The queue header simply says, see, it made another squiggly. The queue header simply says n operations and ops, just a usize, done. That's all it is. Literally just serializing a usize. Good. And so while reading this, we say, hey, how many operation queues do we need to look at? For each of those operation queues, how many operations do we need to read? And then here's where we rebuild the array of operations according to the order specified here. And I'm gonna slap on this sweatshirt really quick because it's cold. So it would be nice to also genericify, make the operations work in such a way where we don't require module termination, right? So we just return whatever the state of the input. That's just a thought that I will try to incorporate and keep in mind when working on integrating operations, the operation refactor into actually the extractor .zig file itself. So, are we looking on time? It is currently 10:49. This needs one of those, an extra space. Alright, so according to our build file, we don't know what categories is. $218, $219. And this is no longer n operations, this is n operation queues. So yeah, the thing to do here is probably just replace operations with an operation queue, and that's what actually gets written. And in the short term, I can fix that now. It's a very simple fix. I just replace gen json configs operations value with operation Q. So inside of renderer, Control Q. This Vim layer doesn't work with query replace, which is annoying. Can I do this? Don't know that worked, did it? Doesn't look like it. Again, query replace. So we're searching for operations colon with operations Q. And these are operation Qs. So all instances of, why is this not? There we go. All instances of operation needs to get moved to operation Q. Operation Q. I said trivial change. See, now these for loops make a bit more sense. Hey, my build script works from this file. Does it work over here? It does, that's sick. Now I need to modify so that is now working, and finally gen json config. Well, it doesn't matter because it's just serializing the JSON object, which is responsible for the name. Cool beans. So, oh my god, I got a purple screen. I don't know how to fix this. Wait, did that just fix it? Alt M fixed it. What happens if my compilation pattern panel goes away? Yes. I didn't want to restart. I did not want to restart it, so that's good. So operations now is operation queues. So an operation queues is operation queues. It's dot items, which is also an array, dot length. So we're writing def header, and now we're writing categories. Or what are we doing with categories? I was parsing stuff. I don't need to parse stuff anymore. This was all in order to write a... So again, all of this code here can be chalked down to attempting to write a cat header. So let me pop open common.zig again over here. And this diagram has been so useful, and I will remember to do another one if I ever need to build anything that's like serializable. I'm trying to build an artifact ever again, because this has been just wonderful. Diagrams are good. Like just trying to like remember where everything goes, right? All these structs, it's like, no way. Especially after months, so of not touching Packager. It's honestly probably been about a month since I've touched this file, but I just got stretched. I can close this. Is there a way to... I'm gonna clear my main chat window. Swap channels. Don't know how to swap channels. Search messages. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's really cool. Found one message. Manual crash, Control P. So right now, I just need to try and create a... I'm trying to create operation headers. So this is looking at each operation queue. So for... so this is for all the ops in the operation queues. We don't have a name anymore. We don't have conditions. We have ops. So I guess the ops is the array. I guess we have to look at each operation in order to build, and I guess that comes later as well. So for each ops.array.items, so for each operation there, so we are getting script name. What did I serialize? I serialized the script name. I should have serialized the script name. So that now lives here. This is op.object.get. And it may contain the type. So I might need to if I open the JSON object again, we have no idea what type it is. I believe. Pop open data. Yeah, indeed. We have no idea what type you are. So, well, this says PyModule. Well, PyModule is the name of the script. So that should just really be script name, and then the type is PyModule, not the actual label. So, back over in common.zig, or not common.zig, include include.typescript, we now have an extra field to give to each operation, and that is the operation type. So here's an op. An op has some data, but we don't really need to do this. We can have an operation, also we can just have it get extended with the, well, I don't want to complicate things. I guess it just has a type, and its type is always the thing. What would be the proper way to do this? Do I have to say extends, like, so we have another thing where we say, oh, when serializing it, I could also just ask for the type of the thing and not enforce that that's a property. But I would like to enforce that that's a property. It's just not necessary here. We just lose this information when we serialize it to a JSON string, is the problem. But yeah, I think the way to go about this is actually the way to go about this is we'll have this is our op data. Let me undo me removing the commented out bit. So here's op. This is now op data. Here's our op data. And op data is either an op PyModule or an op capture. This now specifies the type of the data. And this can be a, I don't know, we'll have an enum up here of the alt type. Type, well, yeah, that's fine actually. Let's do, type will be an enum. How do you do an enum in TypeScript? Just like that. I don't need to do anything funny, just enum name. Type is type. The op data, op type is either can you give it a string? You can. How are those delimited, comma? Yeah. So op pi module and op capture. That's what those look like now. And that belongs to op type, and we now need to export this thing. I need to also build. Why is it building? It should be able to build. Yeah. So I need to fix line 48. Somewhere. Yes, so our new op now has data. And its data looks like this. And it has, so let's do the other thing first. It has a type, and its type is op type dot op pi module op capture. Is the type. So just like this. We are right at 100, perfect. We need to do that for this as well. So this defines a type. This is op type dot pi module and I can drop this business. So this just becomes capture. It is a capture, and this has a type pi module. And it has some data. Which looks like this. And the script select, of course, is just actually the script name. Hopefully script name suffices. Looks good to me. Try to build again. Op type 48. Yeah. You don't have op type. That is done. Everybody is happy. This is not happy. Why is no one happy? Why am I requiring things? I shouldn't be requiring anything. Let me try building from here. Hello. Where do I use Zig? I use Zig in the basically this project is built in two pieces. We have a GUI interface which is currently broken. This is it. And I think I have let me fix it real quick. I'm already in the current directory. I have a GUI which is written in TypeScript, and that does a bunch of GUI things. And I have the second part of this project, which is basically a packager slash extractor that is all built in Zig, and that basically ingests the artifact that gets created from the GUI. Well, the config that gets created from the GUI gets passed to a Zig packager, which produces an artifact that gets passed to my classifier, also written in Zig. And that is where Zig is used. Where is... I was going to try to restart this, and hopefully... okay, it's still broken. And it's mad that require is not defined. Where am I using it though? I don't think I'm using require in the renderer. Is it mad because I introduced an enum? It might be mad because I did this. If I try to build again, this better not be what the bug is. Try to build again. It absolutely was. I actually just quit my job to work on this project full time. When I was previously working, I was working in C. And the work that I was doing was pretty similar to what I'm doing now, so just working with like text classifiers and stuff. But yeah, I just found Zig roughly November of last year. I knew about it. I knew about Zig previously, but I just started learning it in November, and I really like the language. It's like a more mature version of C. It's like C, if C was holding your hand, which I love. Um, it helps you out with a lot of stuff, for sure. At least that's been my experience. And I absolutely love Andrew Kelly, so that's another plus. This is such a weird issue. If I have this enum defined in my include TypeScript file, the transpiler freaks out when I'm over here. I actually am not sure. I would like to get into game programming, but I don't have really many projects to actually just get my foot in the door. The plan is to kind of build up a game in my spare time. I'm currently working on a tower defense game, and I would like to do low-level game programming, if that makes sense. So more so engine development type stuff. So, but yeah, for now I'm just focusing on building this Protex thingy, which I've been enjoying. I've been working on this project for a few months now. What was I doing? I was putting types on the exports. So if I run over to here, I should see after pressing the run button. So basically, I need to export a configuration. So I'm looking at say we're capturing the word starting. And maybe give it a bit of an offset, and then we pass that to a script, make a new extractor, potato, need to redo starting, pass that over to a script, and then press the run button. That should write to the proper file, and I don't want example comp, I want webs comp. So this is the bad boy that gets spat out, and I would like to prettify it. Let's go to JSON formatter. Google has like a JSON formatter, or DuckDuckGo apparently. Indent with 4 spaces, please. Get it working, copy it back over to the Vim buffer. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard that as well. But I feel like I want to see how horrible it is for myself, and then make that decision. Because like at least there's gotta be places out there that aren't like that, right? Surely not every game development studio is horrible to their programmers. I'm sure some places out there are like just awesome to work at, right? I've heard network, like you're saying, socket programming, network programming is actually a really good way to get in there, in the door, because I know a lot of people don't want to do it, and not many people are very talented at doing it as well. But yeah, I'm not expecting to get paid much. I'm sure the salary is pretty bad relative to the skill level. Yeah, no, I don't share that opinion. I think network programming is really cool. Have you checked out Beej's Guide to Networking? It's a really good resource if you haven't seen it yet. It's probably my favorite resource on net programming because it just does everything from scratch. There's nothing hidden, and you can play with everything. I think it's just it's awesome. This guy is great. He does all sorts of fun stuff. But his most popular one is, of course, the Beej Guide to Network Programming. Let me grab this for you. Yes. Maybe. If I can figure out how to use my... I'm gonna restart the Twitch chat. Two-way application. I think it broke for whatever reason. It actually just doesn't seem to be working right now. So it just worked. Twitch chat. Oh, there it goes. Weird. Alright, that should be working now. It's gone again. Why is this application so weird? I need to write my own Twitch chat command line. TUI tool. Where's the I should just go to I gotta grab my chat panel. Stream manager. And where do I need to put it? Put it on this one. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm actually thinking about modifying the 4coder editor. Its Vim layer is pretty shaky. Like, there's things that I would like to be able to do in this. I love this code editor, but there's certain things that just don't work for Vim. Basically, it's the program allows you to write custom plugins for it, and again, like, just the plugin that I'm using is a little shaky, but all right. Now that we have, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to serialize bits, these bits here, and I needed the type, which I just did. So now over in the over in the packager, I can ask for the type, and like, here's an example. I can't use tabs. Like, I need to press space 4 times, and I can't set tabs, which is super annoying. Like, that's an example of the shakiness with the Vim layer. So we need to get the operation type. So I'm calling those little boxes from the GUI operations, and you can chain operations together in the form of an operation queue, and you can have multiple operation queues basically. So like if these had other operations on them, you can basically the extractor will interpret both of these and run both of them. Yes. Yeah. As far as I can tell, and with my experience, I've written about 3, counting this one, binary serializers, just like professionally. And yeah, just writing structs, just having a pack struct and writing it to a file is like probably the best way to go. So but yeah, my artifact looks like this. Yeah, and this is the first time that I've kind of like built out a diagram of my artifacts, which seems pretty obvious, right? You should probably like do that. And I haven't touched this packager zig file in like a month, and coming back to it was just a joy because I could see like visually where all my stuff is in the artifact. And then over in the actual extractor, I just deserialize this in the order that it's given. So you basically have like a header that kind of kickstarts everything, and then you just kind of, you have the implicit knowledge of what your artifact looks like in the form of an image like this. You just need to make sure it doesn't get out of sync, and it's pretty obvious when it does because everything crashes. So. Dependency graph these windows, like these a dependency graph. I guess if you mean dependency graph, it's more of like a directed graph. And I'm not writing a package manager. It's basically just the artifact serializer is what the packager is. But yeah, these are just written to in arrays. So you can think of this as like each of these is like a queue. You could call it a queue, a list, whatever. It's like just contiguous operations that need to happen is how you can think of each box connection. So but yeah, depending on the type right here, I say need to get the type, which is always there. And then yeah, otherwise crash. And after you get the type, we can basically switch on whatever type, and I think I've done that before. Do I have a switch somewhere that switches on all the possible types? No? Okay. So, right, depending on oh, wonderful, I get to press spacebar 16 times. Right, so depending on the type, in the case of, I can just use strings for now, it's cool. In the case of what did I use? I used PyModule and capture. So in the case of a capture, do this specific thing. Otherwise, do this other specific thing. case of a Pi module. So the nifty thing about this project is it actually spins up a Python interpreter, so you can pass it Python source code to like act on your operations. Basically, if I have a capture, I can say, "Hey Python, go manipulate this capture." So you can have like a script. You can modify the text in any way you like. So that's one of the things that I think will set this project apart from some of the other stuff that's out there. They really don't offer this sort of control over projects like this where you have like a GUI, but and then for the default case, we are unreachable. So in script name, we get script name from one more. In the case of a Pi module operation, we get script name. In the case of a my life is just pressing tab a bunch of times. In the case of a capture, it's two things. It contains a pattern, and it also contains the offset. Don't grab stuff out there, that's white space. So pattern and offset. And then we'll do all the specific stuff within each of these. I no longer need to do this because we're not tokenizing anything, we're writing strings. Script name. I guess I'm doing that. Okay. Keeps grabbing that. So we strip the extension, module name, and compute the index of main Pi module within Pi module. That seems reasonable, I think. And we write this as a -1. Ooh. So is this an I size then? I think that was signed, right? Or do I cast it away from... Does that turn into a U size at some point? It does, right here. Okay. Module name, module index. Am I actually... Yes, yes. Yeah. I was going to take a look at the JSON Protex app, not app, data. This should have a scripts. And now this has data as well. So, yeah, so I can't do this. I need to get the data object off of this. So this is operation data now. Operation data equals op.object.get. Let's call it data. Or else crash the program. And actually just get the data first because it looks nicer. And yeah, depending on the type, capture or pi module, we are... Wait, you can't switch on a string in Zig. I'm pretty sure you can't switch on a string in Zig. But Zig will tell me that. Will tell me that here. No, it'll just tell me I have bad syntax. And it doesn't like that semicolon. Yeah, yeah, you can't do that. So... the problem with this is I don't want to write enums in two places. I don't want to have to maintain an enum list in TypeScript land and then over in Zig land. Alright, I'll bite this bullet, I guess, and just, this is going to bite me in the butt eventually, but for now, I'll accept that cost and, just roll with a standard enum, and then just make sure it's in the same order, in two places, and just handle them. Where do I need to be? I need to be in app. And this needs to live, where do I need to be? I need to be in include. And these are no longer strings, this is a 0, and then I'm happy with whatever you are, hopefully a 1. If TypeScript is sane, then this should be, I think, does JavaScript have enums? I don't know. I think it does. I would hope it does. This should work. And then where do I actually open, oh, the way I was assigning them was just optype dot whatever, so I shouldn't need to change renderer.ts at all. So let me write this again, and I will refresh this, and oh, I defined the enum in another place as well. I do have to change it because I'm now defining this enum in 3 places. So there's that. Can I define an enum within the within this? That would be nice. If I could do something like this where I do this and it's like a nested thing. Then I don't have to export it, and hopefully the export just works. Does that work? Please say this works, and that would be great. Op type. Let's go split open Protex render.ts. I'm gonna try this, and where this is concerned, we say op.optype. That's annoying, but it's less annoying than having two enums. Line 23. What? What did I break? Oh, render include. I broke you. Enum optype. So I can't just go ahead and define that, which is kind of sad. So this would be just like a static thing. All right, well, I guess we're back to this, which is fine. I just want it working, and I can deal with it. I can deal with it later because I don't want to screw with TypeScript stuff right now. This comes back, and this becomes a 0, and this becomes nothing because it should just auto increment. Great. So, upon it does actually, I'm not sure exactly how the internals communicates. I wrote a little compatibility later. So Python has a C API that you can call into. The C API spins up an interpreter for you. I think it spins it up in another thread, but I'm not entirely sure. I believe that is true. And yeah, as far as how that is talking to that thread, I don't know, I'm just calling the C API there. And then bit flags for this. I'm not sure how I would, actually, I could use a bit flag. I'm just thinking about how I serialize that via JSON. So like you have your bits being written to, and you have a finite amount of types that you can represent. So like let's say we're just shifting ones, i.e. just whatever 0, 1, 2, 4, 8, etc. And then just serialize that number, and then whatever power of 2 number you get, you know which type it is. That could be an approach. And yeah, that would be a good way to escape having to use an enum, and hopefully I can export it, but I will stick with this for now. But yeah, you're right, the enum would be Well, no, I still have to represent the state. Like, I still have to represent the state. I still need to know the order. I still need to know what a 0 means. I still need to know what a 1 means. I still need to know what a 2 means. So I have to, like, store that in 2 places still. And using a enum is just more straightforward in this use case, I think. Okay, now I can go exist over in Packager again. I wanted to try generating another one so that I can assert that these are now numbers being spat out. So this is an extractor. Let's capture this one. Blah, da, 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 da. Run over to a script. Press that button. Yeah, so this is now type 1. And then we should have type 0 over here. Wait, what came first? Should pattern be? Did I have PyModule come first? What comes first over in include? PyModule comes first. How am I handling it in Packager? I think I'm handling capture first. Okay, I'm just going to reverse the order here. Well, it's faster to reverse the order here. As long as they're consistent in the ordering, I'm good with whatever. Doesn't matter. I just need to make sure that this doesn't get screwed up. And then I will need to define a struct that's enum that matches this enum over here. But for now, is this number? Dot as number? Dot to string, I think, as string. I forget how you grab, oh, you just say dot string. So this is the type. I need to switch on type dot type dot number. And this is now data instead of op. And this is now a 0. And this is now a 1. And our unreachable somehow got stuck inside of this bracket, inside of the scope. Oh, that's probably exactly how that happened. I need to fix this tab problem, like, soon. So yes, in the case of a 0, do this. In the case of a 1, do this. And I'll go define the... do I need to... I don't need to export the enum anywhere else. The deserializer doesn't need to know the type because we're representing the type in a different way, not with the enum. It is a union as far as the deserializer is concerned. And wait, I should already have these. Where is common.zig? I don't know what I'm saying. I should be able to reuse what I've defined in common.zig. Because I specify the union type, so I can just reuse this here. Yeah, so PyModule capture. So RDOP. RDOP type. Op type. Nice. So yeah, either it's a PyModule or it's a capture. So common. So instead of switching there, when we say... there should be a way to cast it into an enum, and I forget exactly how to do that. Zig doc int to enum. And I think it's just like a built-in is how you do that. At int to enum. Yes. That's exactly what I want. JD. Converts an integer into an enum value. First it takes the destination type, and then it takes the integer. Okay. So int enum, we need to say switch on at int to enum. Destination type is common dot this is op type, and type dot number, and that should be all she wrote there. And we're switching on common dot op type dot PyModule and here we're switching on common dot op type dot capture. All right, that's a little nicer. Do I need to write this? Don't know if I needed to write that. Do we still build? Yes. All right, cool. Hey, I can fix this case later too. This is over in TypeScript land again. Let me just close that file for now. Okay, so now we get the script extension. We were then trying to map the name to an index. We do that via this. I have to press the spacebar a bunch of times. That lines up. Go. Somehow I lost this. Oh, there it is. It's always on the we're asserting that main PyModule index is greater than or equal to 0. Yes. If we found it, then break. We have module name. Does that exist? We have script name. Oh no, we pull module name from that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so now, instead of constructing a cat header, which, if I remind myself, which doesn't exist anymore, we need to construct a, first write the, up here we will write the, I need to write the queue header. So operation queue header, write queue header, which is simply just a count of this. So it's pretty trivial. It's like simply just a usize. And then after that's been written, we need to go through and write each header here. So, or each, we need to write the actual operations contiguously. So const op, whatever an op looks like. Where's my union? This is an RD op. I should really name it something else, or I should at least name the JSON version of this something else, because it's getting confusing, because this is a JSON op, this is a This is a regular zig op. So the previous design was actually just clustering everything together, so all the possible types that you could have, and then I had just some ugly code that was like, oh, I know what type you are because your main Pi module index is -1, so thus you don't have a Pi module index, so you must be a capture operation. And that's no good in terms of me wanting to add more stuff later, so we're now fixing that. So, right, this is a JSON op, and I would like to rectify that. I can do that pretty trivially by just doing that, and I don't use op anywhere else. Oh, I was using it everywhere else. This is data. Data. I think I did that somewhere else too. Over in capture, I used op still. This is just data again. Both of that is a string, this is an offset. This is a common dot op type, or excuse me, RD op. And it is an RD op header. Is it an RD op header? No. This is the actual data that we're writing. So as far as the header is concerned, this is the header. So we're writing the op type as the header, so we need to write the header first. So the op type, we're going to be writing a struct. Well, can you write a... I don't think you can write an enum. So what I'm going to do is we'll write like an instance of an enum as a struct. You can definitely write it. I'm going to write all. Actually, I think you can write int. I think that's a valid thing that you can do. I'm looking for master standard, and in here, let me search for oh, I was clicking in the wrong thing. This isn't a search bar. This is a search bar. Write int. Definitely write an int, but not with mem. With a writer. The writer itself, the type you want to write, and the value, and then you pass the inittiness. I swear I just did this. Amber Kelly. Good. How are you doing? I did this. I was trying to write a PNG decoder. That's where I did this. So if I take a look at that example code, I should be able to... Wait, is it literally just standard dot built-in initian? Look. There we go. Ah, and I can say dot bigger, dot little. Okay. So for the header, I need to write prior to writing the data, I need to tell it the type. So we're gonna try and write an int, and cannot fail. I don't know if that throws or not. I don't want to close this tab. How do I duplicate this tab? Tab clone. Tab clone. Nice. Write int doesn't return anything. It can throw though. Cool. Write int. Do I need to open up a writer? .writer. And then I need to say you are. I need to give my enum. Oh, it already has a tag. Usize. Cool. Usize, and then the actual value itself to be writing, which is optype dot pymodule. And that should be good. Oh no, that's right. I need to write the initialness as well. And it should be little. Where is standard.builtin.inidian? Can you spell Inidian? E-N-I-D-E-A-N? E-N-E-N. How many? It's 104. This needs to go on the new line. So that would be the header, and then let's make sure common.zig reflects that. That is still just the usize, yeah. And then data is the already op itself. Okay, well that's fine. Yes, so op is now exactly that, right? Yeah, and it has field of pymodule. And its pymodule looks like this. Why did I postfix everything? Why did I add header suffix to everything? That was dumb. You know it's guess it's a header. What about just regular pymodule? Is that a thing? Yeah, no, already op pymodule. Oh wait, this is an entirely different thing. Yeah, okay, that makes sense now. Right. This is an operations pymodule, which specifies the index. So this just needs to define an index, and then its index is the main pymodule index. Main module index, just like that. And that's a usize, so I need to cast it to a usize since it's an isize. good to me, I think. What's a common? Op type. Yeah, common.op type. I wasn't using offset. Right, because capture needs to do something similar to this. So this is no longer apply module, this is a capture. Writing little end in, Nidian. We make an op. This is a capture. And a capture has what exactly? Should have a pattern ID and an offset. Equals something. Ooh, I need to find a way to... Maybe I do just record the pattern pattern index over in my over here instead. So where I'm just going to pretend that this is also a number and I don't know, I think this is a usize, I'm not sure. I'm gonna cast it to a usize. I assume it's a usize. I guess I didn't assume this was a... Oh no, I into enum that, which understands that this is a usize because of the tag. Yeah, where? Pattern ID. And this is a capital D. And I said dot number. This might just be unnecessary because number is a usize. I should probably check. All that nonsense can go away. And I need to write the queue header as well. And I think that's... Oh, I'm not actually writing the operation. So how do I... Where's the write struct syntax? just like that. Why does it grabs that other line all the time? So create the op and write the op. I guess we're doing it like this. So that should be good. Right. Yes, the queue header. So I need to write that as well. And as far as that goes, simply just a U size. Do I need to wrap this in that? I guess I could. It's probably fine. Can we do that? Write struct. So queue header. Common.rd op queue header. And then dots and ops is simply equal to the length of this, or ops.length, whoops. Length of this. Ops.array.items.length. And we have our queue header. We're writing the queue header. Try RDF. And that should be good enough for the queue header. Does it compile? Main module index.number. Spell module wrong? 269. Oh, yeah, that's not good. It should be pattern. was probably complaining about pattern not being used either. Itmez. That is certainly not a word. I apparently made that mistake twice. No field number in union json.value. Is it integer? All cases are already handled, right? Because I casted it to an enum, so that handles that issue. So I can just omit the unreachable case. I think I need that trailing comma. I don't think it matters. Can't read the rest of that. Where is... expected got JSON value. Oh, yeah, that needs to be dot string. Expected type usize found common dot op type. This needs to be enum to int on line 250. And then it knows what kind of int it is, so I don't need to specify anything else, I think. And then wherever my other right int was, this is enum to int. Number, yeah. Both these are integers. Doesn't like this union, does it? It's gonna give me a line number. 23. $277. Right struct new op. So saying pattern and I didn't give it, well, I did give it a dot capture. How do I explicitly set the union state? Or like tell it which union I'm using? Where is... Right. So number is a union, and we initialize int. Here I initialize pi module, or right struct doesn't like that new op. Access of union field struct. Well, field union is active. Can I turn the union into a struct? Can I cast it into a... Can I treat it as a specific thing? Maybe that's what I need to do. So like new op. In this case, can I do this? As capture. And as far as U16 value, it should be as this, and then this should be the new op, and then up here this can become pi module. Honestly, I'm going through the trouble of switching on it. Why not just simplify it and just write the type itself? I think I just get rid of this. And then either write a pi module or a capture. So ops are no longer like this. But then I can't hold them all in like a nice array. It's oh, it might be because is it because I'm forward declaring the operation up here? If I go back to doing this, I think everything's gonna be okay. Where I try to write it. Right struct new op. That should work. Right? RDOP. I removed RDOP. Did I remove RDOP? No, I didn't save. So the problem is I want to explicitly set the type of this union. Well, field union is active. So I guess I could... I think this is just due to how the way write struct is written, and it's trying to touch a field that isn't active. I.e., it's touching, if I'm PyModule, it's touching capture. If I'm capture, it's touching PyModule. I don't want it to do that. So what I need to do is I need to just write the bytes. And I think I can just use write all. Slice the passive reference to the... Where is... write bytes. Where is this guy? Standard dot file root dot. Ah, so it's an IO writer. Gotcha. How is write struct implemented? Ah, so this is the guy that I'm after. Write all mem.asbytes. That is a wonderful function. Yeah, so... Whoa. Yeah, so... Just like this. This has the potential to... I don't know that write all... I think write all just returns the number of bytes written. No, write all is just error or void. Gotcha. Write all mem as bytes. Standard.mem, unless I've included mem. Which standard.mem? No. There we go. Standard.mem as bytes, we're passing it new op. Here is the new operation. Hey, the packager's working. Alright, and with the packager actually compiling, I think I'm going to call it a day and take a break. Thank you for the people who dropped by. It was a good time, and it was relatively productive. So, yeah, see everyone later.